What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Flock of Seagulls, and we're going back to their 1982 debut self-titled album, and we're up to a tune called Tokyo. As someone who watches a lot of Japanese entertainment, specifically like live-action TV shows, or J-drama as it's often called, I actually know a little bit about the sort of, geographical, like physical layout of the city and larger metropolis that is Tokyo, one of the most populated cities in the world. But ultimately, it's a very general usage. There's no accompanying phrase to indicate what is happening in or why Tokyo is relevant. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it. I will say, it's interesting. Between, a late 70s into the 80s group like Japan, which, they used the name of the country for their band name, between a tune Big in Japan by Alphaville, which I haven't gotten to yet. I did just start Alphaville reactions. Yeah, and between like this song using the name Tokyo, I feel like there's a lot of late 70s, early 80s synth pop, synth rock references to Japan or its cities among a variety of groups. So yeah, it just seems like this weird sort of quirk of cultural history. But regardless, I'm not quite sure what to make of the title. Perhaps it'll relate to something that happened in Tokyo, or perhaps it'll be like set to the sort of backdrop of Tokyo. Either way, I'm not quite sure how to take it because again, there's no accompanying phrase to give you any hints. But let's get to it. This is A Flock of Seagulls. Luca is on board as well, and the tune is Tokyo from their 1982 self-titled album. Has a like East Asian influence sound a little bit. Not home when he calls because she went to Tokyo. It's like a continuation of Yazoo's Bad Connection. Tokyo is relevant to the story, but it's not the backdrop, it's the place where someone else went. It's the destination. Starting to get a feel like their songs have a certain flavor. That's cheeky. You end with a gong. Yeah, it's a cool tune. It's different than I expected, even though in one way it is very much running in the direction that I thought. The idea that Tokyo would provide a sort of touch point for a narrative. It does, but one where it's like you're not in Tokyo as the listener, as the person hearing this story. But yeah, I was amused by the sort of the narrative, the idea that he's calling, but she's not answering because she's already departed for Tokyo. So he goes and like asks her mom, I think it was, and then she's like, well, I don't know where she is. And, like, you should call her. Well, I tried calling her, but she doesn't answer because I think she's in Tokyo. So I like the comedy of it. It's a tune that doesn't necessarily fit in with the kind of like larger like alien sort of interpretation that I was getting, which again, not every song, even on a full proper concept album, not every song has to be like the very next beat in this sort of like connected story. You can have sort of like, you know, moments or vignettes that are, you know, they can stand alone, they're sort of independent, even if you can sort of like work them in conceptually. Regardless, yeah, it didn't quite feel like it was, you know, the same, like you're getting taken up in a tractor beam to a flying saucer, but it did have, again, this sort of like otherworldly kind of sonic atmosphere, which, as I mentioned, I'm beginning to get a sense of the flavor of their tunes, and that sort of atmosphere, you know, with the guitar and this sort of like, I don't know if I could call it spacey guitar, but it's, you know, some of it's like echoed, and it has this very like, you know, sort of like celestial sound. So yeah, like I said, I'm getting a sense for their flavor. Do let me know what you think of this one specifically. I definitely was amused by the story as I came to understand it, but let me know if there's like a layer of it that I'm missing. I did feel like there was a lot of, I did pick up most of what was happening there, but do let me know if I missed something. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.